What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats of every one of the weapons in Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer, and in today's episode we're going to be covering the brand new ZRG 20mm sniper rifle. Now this was just added to the game this morning, and with this, the unlock criteria is using sniper rifles you have to earn 2 long shot medals in 10 different matches. And with that, let's just start hopping right into the stats here. The first thing I want to look at is the damage, or more appropriately, the one-shot kill potential of this gun in comparison to the other sniper rifles. As you can see here, we get by far the best one-hit kill potential. It'll kill anywhere aside from the legs. And even on the upper thigh, you still get a little bit of a one-shot kill potential there. So this is a huge upside to using this gun. You are almost never going to be getting hit markers with it. However, if you want to take it a step further, you can use the final barrel unlock, which boosts your damage. And you can see here, your one-shot kill area now extends all the way down to the enemy's knee, which is insane. I think it's completely unnecessary. There should be very few situations where you're shooting someone in the thigh anyway. And using this barrel will also decrease your fire rate, which this gun can't really afford because let's get into our rate of fire. As you can see, our rate of fire is significantly slower than all of the other sniper rifles. This is one of the big things that keeps this gun in check and keeps it from being completely overpowered. Yes, you got an amazing one-shot kill potential, but it's very unforgiving if you miss a shot compared to the other sniper rifles. As for our bullet velocity, this is a huge upside with this gun. Our base bullet velocity is 925 meters per second, and therefore on most 6v6 maps at least, this is going to feel essentially like hit scan. You'll almost never have to lead your target or aim high or anything. You just point and shoot with this gun and you'll be getting yourself a lot of kills. But then after that, I want to have a look at our reload time. It's worth noting that you only get a 3-round magazine by default, so that's another big downside that keeps this gun in check. But with this, our standard reload time is 2.02 seconds, which isn't too bad. And then you can see all of the other reload timings for each one of the magazine attachments. I think for most people, they're likely going to want to run one of these magazine attachments on this, just because that 3-round magazine and having to constantly reload will be really annoying. But after that, I want to have a look at movement speed here, because it is a bit unique in this area. It does have the exact same base movement speed as all the other sniper rifles at 95%. However, the key difference here is our aim down sight movement speed is even slower than the other sniper rifles, which are already painfully slow. Our aim down sight movement speed is just 25%, so you're practically locked in place while aiming down sight with this gun, which does make sense in my mind because this is so powerful and it's supposed to be a big, heavy, clunky gun. Speaking of this being a big, heavy, clunky gun, let's have a look at our aim down sight time. And as you can see here, we actually get a better aim down sight time than the M82, which I find to be a little bit surprising. I thought the aim down sight time would be even slower than this for such a big, powerful gun that's able to get a crazy one-shot kill potential. But we actually get the same aim down sight time as the Tundra with this. But then after that, I do want to have a look at our Sprintout Time, which is quite slow. Our experienced Sprintout Time in-game is the slowest in the sniper rifle category at 467 milliseconds. Generally speaking, though, this doesn't really matter because on sniper rifles, as long as your aim down sight time is slower than your sprint out time, which it's always going to be with these sniper rifles, then the sprint out time really only comes into effect when you're hip firing, which I definitely wouldn't recommend because when we have a look at the hip fire here, it is the same as all of the other sniper rifles, and that is to say it's got a horrible hip fire spread by default. And the only time I'd ever recommend doing this is if you're in a very desperate situation at basically point blank range against an enemy. As for the next side I wanted to have a look at here, this is idle sway, which is fairly important with sniper rifles, and as you can see here, there is quite a bit of idle sway with this gun when you're not holding your breath. You can see that I'm swaying completely off of the upper torso with this, and this is actually more than all of the other sniper rifles in the game. So just keep that in mind, you are going to be wanting to hold your breath in almost all situations where you're sniping with this gun. And with that, that already pretty much covers it for the important stats that you need to know about this sniper rifle. Basically, it's the type of sniper rifle that is extremely powerful when it comes to damage, very, very forgiving as far as where you can shoot your target and still get a one-hit kill. You'll almost never get a hit marker with this gun. However, in order to keep that in check, it's got a very slow fire rate, so it is very unforgiving if you do manage to miss the shot. And on top of that, you only have a 3-round magazine by default. So now that we have all that out of the way, let's get into what I feel is going to be probably the ideal setup with this gun. Of course, some of this is going to come down to preference, and obviously I haven't had a ton of playtime. I haven't actually used this exact setup in a public match. This is more so theory crafting, because this gun just did come out today, but you can get a pretty good indication just based on the stats. The first thing I've got on this is the sound moderator, which is like the standard suppressor, which will keep you completely off the radar when you fire your gun, and all you lose here is 15% to your bullet velocity, which you can definitely afford with this gun. It's really not that big of a deal to slightly reduce that bullet velocity. This gun is still going to feel basically like hit scan on most of the maps for multiplayer in this game, and therefore you might as well keep yourself off the minimap. As for the barrel, you don't really need to boost your bullet velocity with any of these barrels, so I feel like most of them are kind of a waste, aside from the rapid fire barrel, which will give a little bit of an improvement to our rate of fire, which this gun needs all the help it can get in that area, so I feel like this is definitely a great option for this gun. I will say, if I'm playing with this in Combined Arms or Fireteam Dirty Bomb and I'm really taking extremely long-range shots, then maybe I would swap this barrel out for the first barrel, which gives us a bit of a boost to our bullet velocity. It'll actually take our bullet velocity to over 1,000 meters per second, which is just going to help for those extremely long-range shots. But like I said, in regular 6v6 multiplayer, you shouldn't have to worry about this at all. Then after that, I'm going to be using the Patrol Grip, which just allows us to sprint faster with this, so that'll allow us to get to that power position a little bit faster than our enemies and get aimed down sight and ready for them so you can pick them off. After that, I'm just using the standard 5-round magazine, and the main reason for this is it doesn't hurt our aim down sight time at all, and I don't want to be hurting our aim down sight time at all, but I do want to boost that magazine capacity a little bit because 3 just isn't cutting it. And then finally on this gun, we've got the Airborne Elastic Wrap, and this is mainly just because it gives you the best possible boost to your aim down sight time. Our new aim down sight time with this is just 572 milliseconds, which really isn't that bad at all, especially when you consider just how forgiving this gun is when it comes to damage. You can shoot them pretty much anywhere but the leg, and you're going to be getting a kill with just 572 millisecond aim down sight time. So there you have it. That's the setup I'd recommend using with this sniper rifle. Again, keeping in mind this is with limited experience and this is mainly just a theory crafted build, but it is a pretty straightforward weapon to be setting up. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for this quick gun guide on the ZRG 20mm sniper rifle. As for my opinion on this, so far I am really glad that they finally brought a really slow, clunky sniper rifle that's able to get a crazy one-hit kill potential, but have some downsides. My only concern with this is its aim down sight time. I do feel like this might be a bit fast for a gun that has such a big one-hit kill potential. And honestly, I would rather see the aim down sight time swapped between this and the M82. I think this should be the slowest aiming down sight sniper rifle, and I think the M82 could use a boost to its aim down sight time. But of course, that is just my opinion. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about the ZRG 20mm? Do you think it's overpowered, underpowered, or just right as it is? And also, if you guys have missed any of the previous gun guides, including an episode where I covered all of the other sniper rifles at once, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.